Ravens fans, I cannot believe it, but Baltimore just traded for Maxx Crosby. Welcome into the show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joey Petersen. You're watching the Ravens Rundown. This is our instant reaction. 2 first-round picks to Las Vegas. In return, Mad Max is coming to the Charm City. Eric Decosta just did what everybody in the country was telling us he would not do. They just went out and made a splash. They just went out and with this new regime proved to everybody, hey, we are here to win now, and this is how we're doing it. We're going out making big moves, making big splashes. We're saying, you know what? For the first time Eric Decosta has ever said it, F them picks. 2 first-rounders to Las Vegas. We're going to break it down on this show. Appreciate you guys for being here. Obvious, you can see my excitement, okay? I'm pumped up about this. I think you should as well. Real quickly, make sure you're subscribed because I'm about to go and get in the car and drive downtown, get in the studio, go live right here on the Ravens Rundown. Join us after you're done with this video. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a great night. But subscribe, lock us in. Anytime news breaks, we got you covered right here. The rumors came out earlier this morning, okay? I did a video in this exact same chair in front of this exact same computer talking about Diana Rossini's report that the Baltimore Ravens were a team that additionally was interested in Maxx Crosby to be traded, okay? The trade discussions really picked up yesterday, and then they kind of died down toward the end of yesterday, and then they were brought back up this morning, and I said, you know, I think that there is a legitimate chance because since the beginning of this offseason, people have just seen Maxx Crosby, saw the fact that he was most likely unhappy in Vegas, and just said, okay, him as a player, him as a person, his mentality, that fits with Baltimore, right? Those two would be a beautiful marriage together, but that was pretty much where it ended. It was kind of just speculation. It was matchmaking, shall I say. And I took part in it, right? We've been talking about Maxx Crosby since like January. We were talking about Maxx Crosby last February, ladies and gentlemen. And then earlier this week, we got the report from Albert Breer that the Ravens were one of the 5 teams to call the Raiders to see how he fits or to see their price, I should say. And then we got the report this morning, and now it is official. I've said this almost every single time we talked about Maxx Crosby. This is a guy that does not just change games, he changes seasons. And I want you to think about this team that we just watched in 2025. Were they not a defense that was getting mentally and physically pushed around all season long? Zero mental toughness. Maxx Crosby, not only does he bring an unbelievable amount of talent to the field, in my opinion, it's arguable that his most important aspect and the biggest and best thing he's bringing is his mentality, because that did not exist for the 2025 Baltimore Ravens defensively, okay? And then you talk about how he is as an edge rusher. There might not be a better edge rusher in the National Football League, or should I say a more well-rounded edge rusher in the National Football League than Maxx Crosby. He's unbelievable against the run. He can get to the passer consistently, and he's done it on horrible defensive lines for the entirety of his career. And now he's a Baltimore Raven. And now he teams up with Anthony Weaver, and he teams up with Jesse Minter, and he teams up with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And if you did not think that this team was going all in before this, then I don't even know what to tell you. I genuinely don't know what to tell you. And the cool thing is we talked about it this morning. I'll see if I can find that tweet, but you can do simple cap maneuvers to get his $30 million cap hit all the way down to $7 million. Am I surprised that this was a move that was made? Yes, I am. I said this morning, hey, look, if it's 2 first-round picks, Eric Decosta is not going to do it. But then I also followed that up with maybe in this new regime, with this new coaching staff, with this new everything, he would be inclined to act a little bit differently, to maybe have a little bit more, what's the word? to have a little bit more pace on things. Maybe a little bit more fire under his butt. Look, you did things a certain way for a very, very long time under John Harbaugh, and those things stopped working, okay? They stopped working. I don't know what to tell you. Knew everything. And what an exciting move that this team makes. We'll talk more on this trade in just a second. Real quick, I do have to give a shout out to our sponsor at Prize Picks. You can shoot your shot on Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right. Prize Picks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting, so don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Pick from all your favorite sports, anything from basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. Prize Picks now has early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. You can download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. We just got a tweet from Brian McFarland that says, unless Las Vegas is eating a ton of Crosby's $30 million salary, that must mean that Lamar's extension is coming. The Ravens project to only have $9 to $11 million in cap space, so to get the necessary $30 million, it must come from Lamar. After 3/11, when the trade is official, Crosby's deal will be redone. We actually talked to just, go away from, to step away from Maxx Crosby talk for a second. We actually discussed a Lamar Jackson extension today on Shorts. He tweeted out the gif of Denzel Washington in training day saying boom. And he used the same emoji last time when he tweeted that he was extended by Baltimore, so a lot of talks. I said actually originally, hey, look, it means they either just trade for Maxx Crosby or that they just extended Lamar Jackson. It could have very well meant that they did both of those things. And like Brian is saying right there, there's good reason to believe they are doing both of those things. Let's talk 2 first-round picks, because obviously that is a lot, right? I think that they saw this draft and they said, look, we know that this draft is going to be won in rounds 3 through 6, 3 through 5, because there's a lot of talent in those rounds, right? And there's a lot of talent in the first round too, but like those guys in the 3 through 5 range, there's starters in there. You just have to find them. You don't always do that. And I think that, look, they saw a draft that had a lot of good players, but maybe not as talented as drafts in the past. So they said, look, we'll give you our first round pick this year. Hopefully, if everything pays off, we're going to have a late first round pick next year, so it will not even matter, okay? And again, we've been wanting them to make a splash for a while, and they just went and did it. They just went and did it. I can't tell you how excited this makes me feel. Look, I can't tell you how frustrating it was to watch this defense and watch opposing quarterbacks have 175 seconds per drop back to throw and deliver the football. Every single game, I was watching the exact same movie. It was Joe Burrow. It was Josh Allen in week 1. It was Patrick Mahomes. It was Jared Goff. It was Aaron Rodgers. It was you name it. They had loads of time in the pocket to step back there and deliver passes. You were bottom 10 in sacks, bottom 10 in pressures, bottom 10 in pressure rate. Maxx Crosby fixes that problem. He does. And then you look for the draft, you look and say, look, you got the 14th overall pick. Or I guess 14th overall in the second round. You don't have your 14th overall anymore, so you have the 46th overall selection. Right? You still have like 3 picks in the top 100. That's where this thing's going to be won and lost. Okay? So, man, I'm shocked that they did it. if I'm being 100% honest with you. I told you this morning, I said 10% chance it happens. I said earlier this week, 5% chance it happens. But it happened. So for all the haters who all week long have just been saying not going to happen, blah, 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 how do you like me now, right? Okay, if you are watching this video and if you look down on the profile and it still says has a circle on it, that means we're live. Come join us. We're going to be hanging out, me and Gage chopping it up. Until then, Maxx Crosby's a Raven. We'll see you next time.